Lighting the flames of faith, a call to service. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of divine love, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the middle way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And we light the candle, the healing candle. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. Please stand, face the center aisle or your screen, close your eyes, and cross your hands over your heart. Take a moment to breathe in the loving intentions we've just sent out to the world. Now, open your eyes, and with the eyes of God, see God looking back at you.
Oh, yeah.
So this morning, our beloved Rev Ann is going to share some spiritual wisdom about making self-loving choices. Self-loving choices. So when I was looking for something that might somehow mirror that message, I was guided to our Science of Mind magazine. And if you're not familiar with this, get familiar with it. It comes out every 2 months, so this month has May and June. It has absolutely fabulous, splendid articles, some from practitioners and ministers of science of mind, some from other spiritual leaders and teachers. And then it has a daily reading. So what I was led to today was, it's called the Self-Trust Codes. And I think we could also call it the Self-Loving Choice Codes. So here are 15 self-trust codes that can help you focus on your empowered identity. 1, the right relationship to myself changes everything. 2, I can hear the voice of self-genius when I stop listening to the voice of self-negation. I see more of what I look for. I focus on the evidence of abundance in my life. 4. When I love what is in front of me, everything comes to me. 5. I burn up the pictures of where I think I should be. I am on a journey that's never been lived before. 6. I craft my perspective because my perspective becomes my world. 7. There is no static reality. Everything shifts when I do. 8. My desires are holy. I have them for a reason. I follow my breadcrumbs. I like that. I follow my breadcrumbs. 9. I give myself permission to be in process. Clarity comes from process. Clarity comes from process. 10. I am in the right life. I am guided. I am making the right decisions at this time. 11. If there weren't something here for me, I wouldn't be here. Magic is here. I'll read that one again. If there weren't something here for me, I wouldn't be here. Magic is here as we sit in our everyday center. 12. I have a trajectory and something that always works. Something always works. 13. I go beyond casual beliefs. I end the weakness of waffling. I leap. 14. I show up. I slow down. I stop resisting difficulty. I move beyond my history. 15. I side with my light. I side with who I know I can be. I dismiss all other possibilities as I am who I know I can be. And today's affirmation is, I joyfully accept this code for living as my truth. So say that with me. I joyfully accept this code for living as my truth. Let's say it one more time. I joyfully accept this code for living as my truth. And so it is.
Good morning. I'm Joseph Saleck, the music director here. And this morning it's a pleasure to be introducing and welcoming my longtime collaborator, a longtime contributor to the Everyday Center, Michou Landon. Michou is a star child descending playfully with words and song this life to support wise and wakeful embodiment for herself and her species. She feels most at home where she can see and remember her roots in the curvature of the earth. She suspects her 23andMe profile would reveal her to be about equal parts human, betazoid, and tree. Among humans, she leads meditative movement practices and offers editorial consultation for writers, as well as sessions in evolutionary witnessing. She is a published poet, a lyricist, and singer. And please join me in welcoming Michou Landon.
Thank you.
We can bring ease to all we meet. Peace begins when we go quiet. Body still, mind still, riot. When thoughts spin on autopilot, breathe into your roots of silence. Presence welcomes all. Peace. Sharing daily ghosts of apprehension dissolve in love's spacious attention. A quiet word and deep acceptance can melt the aching walls. Presence welcomes all. Bring peace, sharing peace. We can bring ease to all we meet. Generosity of spirit sings no matter who can hear it. What if your mission now is to listen? All hearts hear the call, and presence welcomes all. Bring peace, sharing peace. We can bring ease to all we meet. Pilgrims, swimmers, shed heart brimmings, wings of mind gliding through peace always arriving. Peace, sharing peace. We can bring ease to all we need.
Thank you, Michou. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Denise. Deborah, that was absolutely perfect, the reading that you chose for today. Self-loving choices. Self-loving choices are something that we may not have grown up accustomed to making. In fact, we may have been somehow given the idea that making any choice where we considered our feelings or our comfort or our ease or our safety or whatever it may be, that if we thought about that first, that was
Selfish. Too big for your britches.
I knew that you didn't need any prompting, that was selfish. And you were too big for your britches. And what were you doing, giving that consideration when there were people starving in fill in the country? Because we all grew up, and I'm not saying this casually, but we all grew up with people starving somewhere and it being used as a reason for us to put other people first, to clean our plates, to whatever the case may be. Self-loving choices. So I'm here today to propose that we do a reset, that we push that reset button on our whatever ideas we may hold or have held about self-loving choices and not only our right to make them, but our right to make them a priority. I know. I should have told you to bring your seatbelts, and I didn't, and you'll just have to manage. James, do you need help? You got it? Okay. So why would I say to make them a priority? Because nobody else can do it for us. That's the short answer. The short answer is nobody else can do it for us. And nobody else is gonna. We have to decide. We have to hang out with ourselves long enough. And in Deborah's reading today, it described that so beautifully about what that hanging out with ourselves might look like if we actually took the time to listen with our hearts, to feel into what our intuition is telling us, to tune in a different way. It's not that someone else's recommendation or someone else's idea can't be useful. It can be useful. It can point us in a direction, even a song, like the one that Michou and Joseph just did. It can point us in a direction that we may not have considered before in terms of the exquisiteness of being peace. But that is a self-loving choice. Nobody's going to walk up to you, other than maybe me, and say, be peace. You want to feel peace in your life? Be it. Our lives are an exquisite gift. An exquisite gift. And as you know, if you've been around here for very long at all, you know that I'm of the opinion that if we're here for a reason. And we're here for an important reason. Well, we can't really discover the reason that we're here until we take better care of ourselves. Now, that may sound counterintuitive to everything that we've ever heard before, and I don't care. Because what matters now is who you are today and the life you want to live today.
Right.
what you want it to feel like, what you want it to contribute, what you want to feel as you're living it, what qualities you want it to have. Do you really want somebody else making those choices for you?
No.
Of course not. Nor can they. You know, unless we take the time to really describe to someone else, well, if this happened, then I think this is how I might feel. But why are we telling somebody else as if we want them to fulfill it?
Mm.
When it's our job. It's our job to put the word out there, if you will, and I mean out there in the biggest out there you can imagine, because, you know, there really is only one life, and that life is my life, and that life is our life, and that life is the life of everything that has ever existed, will ever exist, period. So if we want something, to know our preferences, I mean, it's fine to share it with a friend, but not because we think they're going to do it.
Mm.
Do you know that probably the single worst, I'll say, emphasis, energy, practice with a friendship is to expect of the friend what we aren't doing for ourselves.
Mm.
To expect the friend to fulfill what feels like it's missing. Did they sign up for that?
No.
Do you remember having a conversation about that, a negotiation about that, where you said, this is what I really need, and they said, okay, I'll make it happen? Do you remember that? Right. No. Because that's not how it works. How it works instead is that we don't say what we need. We don't say what we want to ourselves or to anybody else, and we think that somebody, including God, is going to mind read and fix it. Nope. Nope. It's up to us. Now, that doesn't mean that the fulfillment is up to us. But taking steps towards how that might feel is up to us. Taking steps toward how it might feel to be living a life that is where we're comfortable, where we're at ease, where we are peace everywhere we go, where we actually are filled with so much joy that we can barely contain it. That's up to us. That's not up to somebody else,
Right.
no matter what office they hold. That's not up to somebody else. So this thing about self-loving choices is about stopping to realize what it is that would make a difference right this moment, or maybe in the next moment, with how we feel in this moment. if we don't like it, what is it that we could do in this moment to improve it? Now, I know I'm talking about self-responsibility, and I hate to tell you, but that's just how it is. Because when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of living this life and being this life, because we don't just live it, you know, we are it. Living this life and being this life, we are self-responsible to the degree that we accept that responsibility. We can point fingers all day long. Won't do us a bit of good. Won't change anything. Because the people that we're pointing fingers at probably don't even know that we're pointing fingers at them, let alone know that we have expectations of them. And so we're getting nowhere.
Right.
Other than more and more and more and more disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But we're feeling disappointment, we're feeling disillusionment, we're feeling these feelings that we really don't want to feel. We're feeling all this stuff because we're looking for love in all the wrong places, as the song goes. Instead of looking for love here. Do you have any idea how precious you are? How loved you are? How treasured you are? How held in tenderness and kindness and gentleness and support you are. And sure, every word I just said, I mean too. But I am talking about you as part of a whole of something that cannot feel otherwise. This life that is our life only loves unconditionally. So even if we've had a moment or two when we would say we screwed up, it's not relevant. We may hold ourselves accountable for that or them or to them, but it's not relevant. We are precious. We are a wonder. We are unique in our revelation of this one life and in the opportunity to reveal it in its fullness as if we were precious, loved, held tenderly, supported unconditionally, as if that were true. Because it is true. There is a purpose for each of us here. And, you know, people have written lots of books about discovering your purpose and developing your purpose and realizing your purpose. I'll tell you what your purpose is. And I want all the money from all the books that you have bought along the way that told you how to find out your purpose. I'm just kidding. Your purpose is to live your life to the fullest.
That's right.
To be joyful, to share your joy, to find joy just by looking in the eyes of others, to treasure every moment and every breath and every opportunity. That is your purpose. Your purpose is to love just irrepressibly. Do you all know what irrepressible means now? It means that you can't contain it. That's what our purpose is. It's mine as well as yours. That's why we're here. That's why we're all here. There's one purpose, and it's to live our life as us to the fullest. We cannot do that if we aren't making self-loving choices.
Right.
We can't do that. Because if we aren't making self-loving choices, then we are taking a look at this one and that one and the other one and the thing and the other thing that may need something before we can let ourselves, notice I said let, ourselves be, do, have, whatever it is. Old idea.
Mm-hmm.
Old and moldy idea. And it's benefiting no one. We think, because of the old thought patterns, that we're doing this to benefit them or that, and it's benefiting no one if we aren't taking care of ourselves first. I'm not saying don't be generous with others. You know me better than that. Of course, be generous with others, but be generous with yourself first.
Right.
Be generous with yourself first. Be kind to yourself first. Be tender with yourself first. If your body is requiring rest, then have some. Don't push yourself to do stuff that you really don't feel like doing. You will later if it's important. And please, somehow this should be higher on the list in self-loving choices. Please don't make commitments. Think about using yes less often. Unless you start by saying yes to yourself. Of course, we are here to give of ourselves as broadly as we can, as sweetly as we can, as lovingly as we can. But how about if we start with home base? I know it's a foreign idea to some, but you cannot imagine the difference it makes to use your voice for yourself, to check in with yourself before you make a commitment to someone else, and make sure that this is the highest choice for you first. Just because they asked you, and just because they told you they really need whatever it is, doesn't mean that you have it to give. I don't need to give you homework this week because I've already given you enough to think about. Take it seriously. All month we're talking about self-awareness, not other awareness, because we have all spent enough time focused on that. Not that we won't anymore, but maybe we'll do it differently. And maybe we'll have a different priority. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you need the thing?
No, I need the ushers.
Somebody want to usher with me? Yeah. Oh, one second.
Look how so many people jumped up.
Oh, and I have a note to read. Wait. I have a note to share before you do this. Because I love to do this when we get this offering from the McCrory's. So every month we receive an offering from the McCrory's, who have been contributing to this community for eons, and but they live very far away, and so he sends a lovely note instead. Hi everybody. Throughout our lives, we are both teachers and learners. Even newborn babies teach their parents to be better moms and dads. As we grow in wisdom, we become experts at teaching hope, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, and love. We remember that as long as we are alive, there is more to learn, and we look to make our awareness ever closer to the kingdom of God. We are very glad and grateful to send the enclosed tithe to support the wonderful work that Everyday Center for Spiritual Living is doing. Thank you for teaching us to follow your wonderful message with joy. Blessings, Tom and Marlene.
Nice.
There you go.
So this is the moment in our service where we get to reflect and open our hearts to the myriad of ways that the Everyday Center for Spiritual Living blesses and our lives in so many ways, little ways, big ways, being able to come here on a Sunday and be with each other in this beautiful, sweet community. So let us say our blessing together. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly, and so it is. So when the basket goes by you, if you're not putting in something today, please hover your hands so you're still participating in the energetic of giving to our beloved center, so we can have more beautiful events like today. It is God's nature to give, and it is our nature to give. It is God's nature to receive, and it is our nature to receive. So in this beautiful gift of giving and receiving, we offer these gifts up to God and up to our beloved Santa Fe Center for Spiritual Living, where we continue to grow and know the truth together, where we continue to name it and claim it as the goodness that it is. So thank you, sweet Spirit, for loving all of us through the Everyday Center for Spiritual Living. And so it is.
And so it is.
So this is a new one where we decided to take out for a spin. This may not be the final version, but enjoy it in this version.
Roll back the stone. You may die, but you're not mortal, son. The truth of who you are reaches far beyond this bell jar. Each paradox is just how it looks inside this box. Close your eyes and see. There is no one to be set free. Whoever we think we are, beyond all the thoughts, we are so much more. Whoever you think you are more, you are more, you are more by far. Now take my hand, feel the current we don't understand, the warmth not yours or mine, of a life that travels all time. Roll back the stone. You may die, but you're not mortal, son. The truth of who you are reaches far beyond this bell jar. Each paradox is just how it looks inside this box. Close your eyes and see. There is no one to be set free. Whoever we think we are, beyond all the thoughts, we are so much more. Whoever you think you are more, you are more, you are more by far. Smile from the face that precedes your parents and your race, the radiating heart, not contained by any rampart. Love is your name. With 1,000 sounds, it's all the same. You know who you are. You're 1,000-petaled heart star. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I know, I see. Om Namah Shivaya.